commentary for the Belgian Grand Prix presented to you by James.
Welcome to MMS round 11 of season 1. Today we are here at one of the jewels of any calendar, a track filled with triumph and tragedy, a track that goes by the name of Spa-Francorchamps. Located in the Ardennes forest close to the borders with Germany and Luxembourg, the track is famous for once being a brutally fast and dangerous 15-kilometer circuit, famously boycotted on several occasions by drivers and teams alike due to the danger of the track. Nowadays, the track has been cut down to half of that length, only 7 kilometers long, which is still the longest on the calendar, and features some of the sport's most iconic corners. Corners like La Source, Poix, and Eau Rouge, a flat-out blast over a steep 18-degree hill that leads on to the Kemmel Strait. In fact, almost all of the 20 corners here have names as the circuit winds its way through their hills and forests, featuring the largest elevation change of the season, with the difference between Pouan and Les Combes being over 100 meters. With all that being said, let's go down to Milos Sereznia to see the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Yeah, on pole position we have Sam Stoffer doing an amazing jump for the Williams team, scoring them another pole position. This is his second pole position this season, if I recall correctly. Peter Kubiankowski still fighting for the title, as the Drivers' Championship title isn't over just yet. In P3 you have the Taurus, then we have McHugh, Toogood, Racus, Curtis, Smith, Kabusek, Gradin, Carrevo, Silva, Valyak, Voda, Martins, Giotto, Carrigal, Callison, Patrick, Sheffer, Agnes, and Jones rounds off the grid, being 8 seconds off the pace. How can you do so bad? Anyways, with all that done, let's get to the 5 red lights, and I'm going on. Good luck, James.
Thank you, Sereznia, as usual for your good grid walks. Anyways, all set then, lights are coming on now. All 5 are on and we are underway, and that looked like a pretty poor start from poleman Sam Stopford. It was. He's going to lose the lead already as they head into turn 1 with Kubiankowski taking the lead of the race. As Mike Latoris stays third, Racus has already gained a position. He's up to 5th place already, so he's made another good start. Mike Latoris has already fallen back from the top 2 as Stopford will be looking to regain that lead with the slipstream as they head up the 18-degree hill at Eau Rouge up ready on. And it all looks fairly clean from everyone. Everybody makes it through safely now, and you can see the slipstream effect there. Look at Michael Torres in the BAR already challenging for P2, and that might go 3 wide as Stopford thinks about making a move. Michael Torres goes down the inside of not 1 but 2 cars. Michael Torres takes the lead of the race as Thomas McHugh gets himself into 2nd place. He's also gained 2 places here at the start. And look at the other McLaren of Smith in 5th place as well, so Torres is dropping down the order. As there's Aaron Curtis and Alex Toogood going side by side through Rivage, and Alex Toogood makes it through. He's up into 6th position. I think that's 6th position as Curtis is down into 7th. Hectic stuff, and I was just mentioning the slipstream effect as they went down as Kubasek in the Jaguar tries to make a move on Curtis Samuel Gradin. He's still in this championship fight, but not after this race if that is the current result. Only 4 drivers still in this championship hunt. The 2 Williams cars, McHugh, and the championship leader, obviously Kubiankowski. There's John Voda making another good start. He's up ahead of Mihail Valyak. And we cut to the back with the Minardis and the Arrows. These guys have been at the back all season long. Giotto behind Valyak. So Giotto's been having a couple of underwhelming performances in the last few races. We go on board now with Kubasek, who's in 9th place, and he's looking to make a move on Aaron Curtis for 8th. Curtis has been struggling in the last few races, and into the final chicane we go. It's kind of like a double chicane, little kink to end it off here. Curtis holds it round the outside very nicely. Back to the front though. There's Thomas McHugh making a move for the lead. The man who started this race in 4th place. He might just as well be leading this as they come out of turn 1 in towards turn 2 and up towards Eau Rouge ready on. Michael Torres got a better exit, but now as they round the crest, McHugh's going to really tuck into the slipstream, and this is where we see the speed difference really come into play. He's closing in on the BAR all the time, but does he go for a move coming into Les Combes? Latoris is slightly defensive. McHugh does go down the inside, but that's cost him loads of time. And look at Cubio. Cubio started in 2nd place. He's already lost a place at the start, having gained the lead at turn 1. And that's Alex Toogood feinting a move to the inside on the other McLaren. But again, he's not going to pull that one off. hectic stuff here at the start of the Belgian Grand Prix as Mike Latoris can see these guys battling behind him, and he's thinking to himself, I need to get a gap here, as there's a change between the two Arrows cars. Jack Agnes drops behind Alex Jones. That's the battle for last and second to last, and look at this train behind the two Saubers here. We've got both the Benettons, Carrigal, Giotto, and that's Connor Callison rounding it off. As there goes Mihail Valyak up the inside of Carivo. Valyak behind his teammate in the standings, despite probably being the better driver this season, and he has managed to get past his teammate going into Stavilo. Wow, could finally breathe after that start. And look at the front here still. They're all still really close to each other. Through Blanchimont now, this is a flat-out corner. Remnants from the old circuit, which used to wind around the villages around where it goes right now, as Latoris makes quite a late move under the braking. Look at this train of cars all the way back to Aaron Curtis. We've got Cubio in third place. We've got Stopford, the pole man, in fourth. He's lost lots of ground. As there goes McHugh. Excuse me for the voice crack. Oh my goodness! There goes Michael Latoris into the wall. He's flipped up two wheels into the barriers there, and he has lost his front wing. And that's going to cause an enormous traffic jam behind. Again, excuse my voice cracks through that section of track. But look at this here. You go McHugh up the inside, and Cubio has hit into Mike Latoris. There was definitely enough room on the inside, and that could have been a very, very bad shunt. Latoris lucky to get away with that, with only front wing damage, and yeah, that is definitely Cubio's fault. Latoris, there was tons of space on the inside. He made the right decision in the end. He covered off just enough room, and now this is going to be a huge traffic jam. Look at this as they all run onto the Kemmel Straight, all the way down. I think that's even Gradin, all the way down there. And it's a slipstream battle as we head down to turn one. There goes Cubio making a move for the lead, but he's going to probably get a penalty for his actions. Stopford makes a move, and Latoris blocks Smith in order to allow his teammate Rakus to get past. Smith is still stuck behind the BAR, and he needs to clear him, otherwise he might lose yet more ground. And as I say that, here goes Alex Toogood around the outside of Rivage, and now into No Name or Speaker's Corner, whichever one you prefer. Smith holds it round the outside, and look at his massive train. Even the Minardis are getting involved. As Alex Toogood again tries to get past, as Grannon holds it from Silver. Curtis has overtaken Toogood. Everything is going to absolute crazy ball sacks here. We could really see some backmarkers or people who would not normally get points get some points this weekend, because look at how much time these guys are losing stuck behind the BAR of Mike Latoris as they head through Stavilo now. Cariva gets back past his teammate on the run down towards Blanchimont, and this time now Smith has got past. But look how far ahead all these guys are. Here comes Thomas McHugh making a move for the lead on Cubio Jankowski, but Cubio holds his ground. Jeez. Look, you can see the gap behind as Michael Torres does enter the pit lane. That is the logical thing to do. He's got no front wing after all, as Aaron Curtis has to hold his ground from the cars behind. Meanwhile, Thomas McHugh successfully got past Cubio Jankowski, but now loses it as they run up towards Eau Rouge. Cubio Jankowski is under investigation for taking out Michael Torres. And look at the difference in speed as they go over the crest of Radion. McHugh is already alongside as they head through the kink, and Sam Stopford, the poleman, is trying to make a move as well. Look at this, and they've all managed to settle themselves in there. Stopford goes down the inside and allows McHugh to break away slightly. Stopford around the outside of Lake Cop, and now into the end of this double chicane, and Sam Stopford is into second place. And here's Rodney Rakus, who just seems to be sitting behind all these races and just picking up the pieces from errors from other drivers on lap 4 right now as they go through No Name. Rakus in fourth place with a big gap behind to Smith. Oof. 10-second penalty. That'll probably drop him outside the points, seeing how much traffic there was all the way down towards 16th and 17th. Here's a look back. We got the two Jordans. Helio Silva has caught up to his teammate. The one time Aaron Curtis out-qualifies Helio Silva, he's not really been able to take advantage of it, because Silva's right on his tail, as is Samuel Gradden, who will be looking to keep his championship hopes alive. Oof, yeah. Anyway, through Blanchimont, Aaron Curtis already thinking of going to the inside to defend against his teammate Elio Silva. But these Jordans have to be careful. As speak of Jaguars, there goes the Jaguar of Kubasek on John Voda, who's made another brilliant start. John Voda's into the top 10 already. How is he doing this? How is he doing this at every race? He's finished 6th. He got 6th in Estonia, and he got 7th in Austria, both from pretty poor qualifying positions. Gradin is looking to get past Silva, and you can see the train behind there as Martins has pitted, so he's lost his front wing somewhere in there. He's probably lost it with, he's been overtaken by these guys, he's probably lost it with his teammate. Martins and Ben Patrick. Patrick has not even completed the entire season. You can see the huge train here, and he's going to lose it on Marco Carregal. That is at a misjudgment there from Martins, not expecting Carregal to go so slow from the train ahead of him. And he's going to drop right the way down to the back of the grid. It's a long pit stop as well. Back to the front, and Stopford's taken the lead. Stopford's taken the lead again using the slipstream coming off Radion. He's tucked in so nicely underneath that rear wing. And Kubiak Jankowski will be licking his lips when he sees this. And Kubia also thinks of going to the inside, and he's probably just going to follow Sam Stopford through here. McEwen initially looked better on the exit of the first part of Lecon, but then Jankowski finishes it off into the next 2 corners. McHugh down to 3rd. And all of this is allowing Smith to catch up. You can see him in the background there. He's gained 1 full second in the last lap of this start of the race. Stopford back into the lead. He lost it straight away and only went backwards after that. Kuba Jankowski, he knows he's probably going to get a penalty this race. We're still discussing the 10-second penalty, the FIA. They are still discussing it. It's not 100% official yet. And look at Smith, gap now just 2.5. He's really closing in on these guys in the McLaren. We know the McLarens are lightning fast at any track we go to. But still early days. We're on lap 5, about to go on to lap 6 as we rejoin the old section of the circuit through Blanchimont. These completely flat out corners, but in the rain they're treacherous, but we have no rain here. So the FIA have confirmed a 5-second penalty for the man going up the inside of Stopford right now. Kubiak Jankowski tries to take the lead with that 5-second penalty. That'll drop him down behind Smith and maybe even further, but he holds on to it for now. And look at this train of cars. Stopford already had an advantage through Rivage, but he's lost it all completely. And now Stopford losing a place to Kubiak Jankowski, who borrows himself up on the inside. Stopford retakes the place. And look at Smith now in the slipstream of Kubiak Jankowski as they head up through Rouge and Radion. Who's going to get the best run through here? It all looks pretty similar. Kubiak Jankowski, fantastic exit from this. He bolts slightly away from Thomas McEwen. Now he's in the slipstream of the Williams. We have 4 different teams, 4 different cars, all running here for the lead of the race. Kubiak Jankowski doesn't think of the move to the inside. No, he doesn't. Thomas McHugh is the one who thinks of the inside and almost loses a place to Rodney Rackers at 3rd place, but he holds on to it. The top 2 get away slightly more now, heading down the hill towards Rivage and No Name. And Stopford is quite lucky to hold on to that with how many cars were lining him up there for the move. He must feel quite relieved that for another lap he doesn't really have to deal with this. As you can see, Smith and Tugad in the background, and it's a bit of a gap to the Jordans behind, who've probably been battling relentlessly since we last cut to them. Yeah, it's just 5 seconds. It's not an additional 5 seconds, it's just 5. It's not an additional 5 for the 10, it's just a 5-second penalty. And look at Smith, he's getting done too good as well. They're getting closer every lap. These guys have to stop battling. You're on board with the man from Luxembourg who races under the Luxembourgish flag. Look at the gap behind to Silva, almost 8 seconds. Those guys have been battling a lot, but look up ahead, you can see Stopford's really coming under pressure. Rakus trying to make a move on McHugh as they touch, and Rakus gets past. A bold move around the outside of Blanchimont. That's up for the top overtakes of the season, as Cupia once again feints to move to the inside, but doesn't pull it off, as Smith has officially caught up to the back of the train. As Kubiak Jankowski goes to the inside line, he outbreaks Stopford. Does he pull enough of a gap? It looked enough, but then he kept turning. He didn't have to do that. And Sam Stopford's going to retake the lead of the race up Eau Rouge and Radion. QBO ever closer. He's close. He's this close every lap, but he had a poor run actually. Look at the BAR of Rakus, how close he got going up Radion. Then Rakus might be a potential contender for a position here as Thomas McHugh makes a move in the McLaren up the inside of Rakus. He regains third place as Smith slots in behind. He's very much in this train now, and Alex Toogood is within a second of them as well. And then it's a long gap behind, so it seems to be these guys all in the battle for the lead. They're on lap 7 of 17 at the fantastic Spa-Francorchamps. And Stopford is doing a great job of defending that lead. He's always getting the better traction on the exit of La Source. And QBO, the Ferrari engine, doesn't seem to be quite powerful enough to overtake through the Kemmel Straight. He might have to do it somewhere else. Going into Campus Corner. Into Campus Corner goes QBO. And once again, Stopford holding his ground on the outside. He really seems to find traction out of nowhere. Alex Toogood becomes the latest member to catch the train. He's on the back of Smith now in 6th position. It might all come down to the pit stops. Overtaking seems to be pretty difficult at this stage, as McHugh gets another terrible exit coming out of Stavilo. He's under pressure once again from Rodney Rakus, but this time he's got 2 cars behind Rodney Rakus, who will also be looking for a move. But it might be McHugh making the moves here. Look at this, it's all an absolute traffic jam. Toogood makes 2 moves. He gets past Smith, he gets past Rakus. Kubiakowski loses a place to Thomas McHugh. Everything is going mental here at Spa. Stop at the top 3 all look okay, but behind them it's absolute chaos. Smith goes down the inside on Toogood now. Oh, it's all going wrong for Kubiakowski, who's made another mistake as Thomas McHugh takes the lead of the race from Stopford. Those guys are almost side by side. Heading through Harouge and Radion as sparks fly from the other train of Thomas McHugh's car. Up the crest of Radion we go. And QBO is really far behind these guys. He's going to be under slipstream pressure from not 1, not 2, but 3 cars. And look at the speed Smith's gone. He's going to challenge. QBO going into the next corner. Stopford makes a move on the inside. Smith makes a move on the inside. Stopford gets a terrible run. Rankowski almost takes 2nd place. Smith's managed to gain 2 places since the start of the lap, and Rakus and Toogood are fighting their way still since the final chicane, as Rakus has kept that place. Thomas McHugh is bolting off into the lead now. His teammates managed to gain a place as well, as Kubiakowski has seen he thinks he probably should have been leading. He had 3 laps to try and get past Stopford. He couldn't do it, and he's paid the price for it. He's now lost a place. He's now lost a net position in this race as we go through Pouan now, down the hill, back up the hill very shortly. This is absolutely mental stuff. Going through Campus Corner now as Smith again tries a move on Jankowski. We've seen it so many times. Cars going up the inside, they're initially pulling ahead but then losing the traction through Stavilo now. This is a flat-out, almost flat-out corner now here with hardly any runoff. There's a big tyre barrier waiting for you to have a snap of understeer as Stopford has caught up. And now Stopford might take another shot at taking the lead. He pulls out of the slipstream through Blanchimont now into the chicane. Here comes Stopford on the inside of Thomas McHugh. Again, it doesn't work. And again, we see at the back Smith trying to make a similar move, which doesn't work. As Aaron Curtis, I think, Helio Silva. That's Helio Silva has now caught these guys, as has Samuel Gradin. So this could be an 8-way fight for a race win. And that was a risky move from the McLaren. He's going to lose so much time on the exit. He's lost a place to Rodney Rakus for 4th place. He's back down demoted to 5th as we see this special helmet this cockpit camera. It's mounted on the helmet, so you can really see how steep that hill climb is as Stopford again makes a move on Thomas McHugh. And if you're Kubiakowski right now, you don't want this to be happening because you have a 5-second penalty as Alex Toogood might lose a place. Raku's trying to make a move on Jankowski. He now has the inside line. Those guys going really slowly as Kubio holds on to it as Samuel Gradin tries to make a move on Helio Silva going into Rivage, but Silva reverses the script and overtakes Alex Toogood again. Apologies for my 4th voice crack in as many laps. And I think it's all finally calmed down. But as I was back to saying, if you're Kubio Jankowski, you don't want any of this to be happening because now he's going to drop down almost behind Jean Voda, who's in 9th place. And these guys, all at the back, are not falling too far behind either. On board of Marco Carragher, who's already been rammed into the back of by one Benetton. He doesn't want to do the same to the last one as the 2 Minardis round it. That's Ronnie Chauffeur being beaten by his teammate, probably the first time this season that we've seen him behind his teammate. Back to the front, though. Through Blanchimont underneath the Gouliasse barrier, and you can see McHugh and Stopford and QB are all so close together. Look how close these three are. They've built a gap, but they're going to lose it all in an instant if they do this. And somehow they've all retained the same order as Helio Silva takes 5th place from the other McLaren of Smith. That is a brilliant move from him. He's on board with Cubio, and what I was saying about the Ferrari engine at the start, allow me to eat my own words as he rams into the back of Thomas McHugh. He's lucky to still have a front wing. I think all of these guys are still very lucky to have front and rear wings, because my goodness have they been playing the game of argy-bargy a lot. Helio Silva getting back past the McLaren of Smith, who's probably going to go to the inside. All these cars making errors. Smith does go down the inside of Helio Silva and again has a terrible exit. Was he hit there by Helio Silva? Maybe that's why the cars are having bad exits, because they're being hit off by other cars. Up Eau Rouge and Radillon, and Thomas McHugh has lost the slipstream effect on Sam Stopford. He'll still have it, but nowhere near as powerful as Cubio, who now pulls out of the slipstream in the Ferrari, trying to take 2nd place away as Smith makes a similar move on the inside of Helio Silva. Raku's also thinking of moves. Silva defends his position nicely. Samuel Gradin overtakes Alex Toogood for 7th place as John Voda's now come into the frame, as has Aaron Curtis, and as has the 2 Jaguars behind of Kubasek and Giotto, I believe, is in 12th place. We'll have to double check on that one. Look how many cars are in this frame. You don't see it very often. You don't overtake through poo on either, Thomas McHugh. You cannot do that. I think it's all going to come down to the pit stops, and if these guys are all so close together, a good and a bad pit stop will decide maybe a difference between 25 points and 5 points, you know? It could be real close. And Stopford and McHugh almost make contact, and Cubio and McHugh almost make contact. These guys bowling up a train again as McHugh has now lost the slipstream effect from Stopford. It's similar to what happened on the Kemmel Straight, and already Cubio draws up alongside and thinks of a move to the inside. He'll have the inside for the next 2 bends. He's got now he'll have just one more chance to go to the inside, but Rakus has covered it. He's boxed Cubio in. He has to brake when McHugh does in order to not hit him, but he can't defend the inside anymore because Rakus has shoved a car there, and that was very clever stuff from Rakus, pulling out at just the right moment. Rodney Rakus pulls his way up back into podium position as there's John Voda on the outside of Alex Toogood. My goodness, has this guy been impressive in the last few races. For Prost, he's been gaining points, and more points as Samuel Gradin becomes the latest man to overtake Smith's McLaren around the outside at La Source. It's just being on the inside, it seems so inferior on the exit, as a lot of these guys are coming into the pit lane now. The top 3 seem to all be pitting. Wait, Thomas McHugh's not. Jankowski pits, Silva will be pitting. John Voda won't be. Voda, oh my goodness, is lucky to have a front wing still. I thought he was going to get past Alex Toogood there, but instead rammed into the back of him, just as I praised his performances, his last few. That's Kubasek now into the top 10. And it was Richard Giotto, I was correct. That's good to know. Anyway, through No Name Corner, there's about 11 or 12 cars all on this same straight between No Name and Pouon. It's not even a very long straight of road. As there goes Rakus, almost hits into the back of Thomas McHugh, but my goodness, on lap 11 we still have 6 laps to go, and the pit window is very much open. So let's see what happens now. These guys are all going to come out in traffic, surely. How quickly can they negotiate the traffic, and how quick are the pit crews going to be? Can McLaren deliver another 6-second pit stop for Thomas McHugh, or will it be more like a 13-second pit stop that we've been seeing all season anyway? Rodney Rakus is making a move on Thomas McHugh. Neither of these two are pitting. Stopford pits. McHugh and Rakus stay out. Stopford, you can see him entering the pits at very high speed. It does cut off some of the chicane, so you do gain time, and it'll also cut off part of turn 1. Stopford in the pits. Let's see the pit timer. Let's see the pit timer. It's in the 6 seconds. 7, 8, 9. That's a front wing. It's Kubasek. Kubasek has lost his front wing. And oh, Helio Silva. What's happened here? Has Silva lost a front wing as well, or is Silva just entering the pits? Either way, that's dangerously slow stuff from Helio Silva, who I think might have forced his teammate in the pits as well. Meanwhile, Stopford's had a really slow pit stop. He's been held by Carivo. Cubio is away first. Cubio away before Stopford, who has to wait for him. A 15-second stop just in the stall. That will be an extra 2 or 3 seconds because he had to wait. Ben Patrick, I don't know if he has to go in his box, but he doesn't have to go in his box. Ben Patrick is has leapfrogged Caravo, he's leapfrogged Silva, who's been in the pits for 30 seconds, having lost his rear wing. So these guys are all going to overtake them, surely, if they can even have half-decent pit stops. Let's see. Smith behind by 2.6 seconds. He's going to need an even speedier one if he's going to jump these guys. Rakus, though, is in you could even call it the effective race lead at this stage. Thomas McHugh's in second, and it would be an absolute miracle if it would be amazing, because Rakus, he won in Estonia. He came second last time out in Austria, having started 16th. He's relishing his chances at a top-tier team. He's been gaining points, and yet more points and podiums and wins, as we see Samuel Gradin trying to overtake Thomas McHugh through Stavilo, and again, McHugh's got no slipstream to help him here. Samuel Gradin is lining up a move. He's going to the outside of Thomas McHugh. We never see overtakes around the outside here. Having said that, Rodney Rakus pulled one off earlier. All these guys, I believe, are coming into the pits, or maybe McHugh is. McHugh slows down on the inside. McHugh tried to enter the pits. Oh, he almost hits his teammate. That was really scary stuff. McHugh wanted to enter the pits, so slowed down on entry. McHugh comes into his pit stall. Smith goes into his pit stall. Let's see the pit timers on this one. Into the pits also comes Kubasek to fix his front wing, and also the other Jordan of Aaron Curtis, as they're all raised onto the Jax Mahel Valyak pits. And these guys getting held up. Smith's had a pretty speedy pit stop, 10 seconds. It's quicker than Kubio. It's quicker than all these other guys. There goes Kubio Jankowski. But as Smith exits the pits, I think he might just get out ahead of Sam Stopford here, and he has. So Smith jumps Stopford, McHugh not quite, because those guys had to wait for other cars, as did Kubio and Stopford. So Smith has rejoined in the effective podium. I mean, we see it at every race, just the grid gets so shuffled with these pit stops. Ben Patrick is on the back of John Voda. He was never near the back of him now, but speedy work from the Benetton crew, and he's challenging for points here, is Ben Patrick. What a brilliant thing that would be if he could get points. He goes up the inside and overtakes John Voda. The Prost loses out and is now out of the point, with cars ahead of him yet to pit. The top 5 all still have to pit, including Samuel Gradin and Rakus. Rakus is not in championship condition, but contention. But Samuel Gradin is in championship contention right now. Through Stavilo they go. Wow, this race has not disappointed whatsoever. What a race we've had at Spa-Francorchamps, and we still have 4 and a bit laps to go. Raku's pitting, Gradin pitting, Too Good pitting. Let's see how it goes. Into the pits they come then. Rakus comes in, Gradin comes in. You got to be careful on pit entrance, it's very fast and then suddenly very slow. Rakus goes into... Too Good and Gradin both go into their pit stall. Rakus a little bit further down in the pits. Into the pits also comes the Jaguar of Giotto. And Marco Caragol is probably going to come into the pits as well. There he is. And what a stop that is for Rodney Rakus. 6.7 seconds, and Rakus is going to come out convincingly in the race lead. Samuel Gradin's going to come out in second. Alex Duga's going to come out in third. And Richard Giotto might come out in 4th place. What has happened? Giotto comes out of the pits now. He's in 4th position. Giotto in 4th for Jaguar. What has happened here? Those guys who stayed out, their pit stops were speedy as anything. Rakus is leading. Tugut on the podium, having never even seen a sight, having a glimpse of it. And Gradin, who started 10th, is in 2nd place. What on earth? Giotto having to defend from Kubio. Kubio goes down the inside and pulls off the move. Unsurprisingly, the Jaguar is that much slower than the Ferrari. Curtis has come out side by side with Voda, and Voda losing another place. He's down to 12th now. What has happened? What a chaotic few laps. There are still some laps to go, but Rakus is on course for his 4th podium finish in a row, his 2nd win in 3 races. He won in Estonia, he got 2nd in Austria. As we see Smith having to defend from Stopford, he needs to get clear of Giotto. He'll be in the top 5. But remember this though, Kubio Jankowski has a 5-second penalty, so if he can clear Giotto. But look how slow Giotto's going, it's really painful stuff for the McLaren here. You can just see Kubio disappearing in the distance, and there's nothing he can do. Now we're onto the straight at Stavilo, and Giotto has got no slipstream whatsoever. He's lost 5 seconds on just this one lap. That's an indication how much slower this Jaguar is on raw pace. Smith in the slipstream, Stopford in the slipstream. Stopford actually looks closer to making a move as they come through. Blanchimont, Smith. Does he go for a move? Yes, he does. He goes to the inside, and again, is too far back. And I fear that Smith is going to go down the inside into that source and is going to lose a heap ton of time. What a crazy... Ferrari a third and fourth. That's Thomas McHugh making moves. Smith on the inside, as I predicted, bottles himself up and now might lose a place to Sam Stopford. He does. The McLaren loses a position. They need to clear this Jaguar of Giotto, otherwise they have no chance of a top 4 finish. Smith had a poor run, but Stopford had a brilliant one. Stopford over the hill, but look at the power of the Mercedes engine in the back of the McLaren. Stopford pulls to the inside of Giotto. Does Smith follow him through? Let's see. Stopford overtakes on the inside. Smith does not follow him through. Initially doesn't. Stopford overtakes. Stopford into 5th. Smith has to wait in 7th as Giotto is demoted down to 6th place. The McLaren's really struggling here at Spa to gain positions. It doesn't seem to be their best track. McHugh was in the lead of the race quite convincingly at the start. Not anymore. And you can see how... And if you look behind, you're going to see an enormous train. That's Marco Carrigal in 9th place. But just behind those guys comes an enormous train of cars. All the way from 10th down to 17th, I think it is, also within a second of each other. Actually, Stopford's not really pulling away from Giotto at this rate. There's Jankowski, there's Tugud, he'll be getting another podium, good for him. Because he's had a poor run of form again. But Samuel Gradin is not going to let the prospect of a race win slip through his fingers again. He's in championship contention, Rodney Rakuz is not. Coming through the bus stop chicane, and you can see Rakuz is slower every corner than Samuel Gradin. It looks to be a 2-horse race for the win here. Gradin with an outrageous move to the inside. That was ridiculous stuff. He almost ran into the back of Rakuz there. Miraculously didn't hit him or lock up. That was fantastic stuff in the end from Gradin to slow it down. Rakuz must have had his heart in his mouth when he saw that Williams go for a move. But up the Kemmel Straight they go, and Gradin is very much in the slipstream. Smith has had another terrible last horse. He's lost a lot of ground, and these guys are actually... They might fall into the clutch. Kubasek, who lost his bloody well front wing, is in 13th. What a comeback that is from the Jaguar driver. He might still get points. As Valyak has a terrible corner. As Valyak has a good corner, Carrivo has a terrible one, and he's been overtaken by Jack Agnes here in the Arrows. These guys started all the way at the back. They've been making pretty decent progress as they go down the Kemmel Straight. Carrivo in the slipstream with Jack Agnes, Alex Jones behind, Ronnie Chauffeur ahead of his teammate Connor Callison. There goes Carrivo in the Sauber up the inside of Jack Agnes, but Agnes holds his ground. Nice driving from him. So he doesn't seem to be of any help. He seems to be completely useless in qualifying, but then he seems to sort himself out. And meanwhile, back to the front with a lap to go after this one. Rakuz has been caught by not one but 2 vehicles. He's been caught by the Ferrari of Alex Tugud as they head through Stavelo. I've eaten my own words again. It's not a 2-horse race, it's a 3-horse one. Through Blanchimont now. We haven't seen any crashes through Blanchimont just yet, I believe. We've seen one through Pouant, and we've seen one at the bus stop chicane, which we're going through now. Gradin goes to the inside. Rakuz holds his ground. Very good under pressure is Rodney Rakuz. You have to give him credit for that as they head onto the front straight to start the final lap. 1 to go, and there goes Gradin. Gradin goes down the inside, makes a bit of contact, and loses out in the end. He has to tuck into the slipstream, and he has to do so quickly. Otherwise, not only is he not going to get the place, he's going to lose a place. And look, you can see how steep it looks like you're going straight into the trees before the track reappears. And look at him, he's in that slipstream. He's closing, he's closing, he's closing. The Williams Cosworth is closing on the BAR Honda. The Honda engine just cannot keep up. Samuel Gradin, he pulls alongside, he pulls ahead, and Samuel Gradin takes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix with less than a lap to go. Rodney Rakuz loses it. He's lost the lead. He's not going to win twice in 3 races unless he can overtake around Blanchimont. But he's running out of every corner they go through. Is 1 corner less he can overtake through. And he has to be careful because Alex Tugud behind him is waiting in the wings, waiting to see if these guys are going to make a mistake and possibly promote his position on the podium. Every position he gains from now is simply not just more points, but it's a higher step on that podium. one of the most treasured in the world here, Samuel Grandin. He won last time out in Germany through good strategy. He got elevated through good strategy, but he had to make that work. He started 10th on the grid, did Samuel Grandin. He had a terrible qualifying session. He didn't have a good start, but as he goes through Blanchimont, his gap seems to be big enough to Rodney Rakus. Alex Tugan and Kubica Jankowski are going to be lining this up as well. Kubica's not going to get a podium. He's got a 5-second time penalty. Alex Tugan, though, might be able to get second place and make it 2 podiums in 3 races. He goes down the inside, makes contact. Rakus holds the position, but as they round the final corner, Samuel Gradin takes his 2nd victory of the season with a thrilling race in Belgium. And Rodney Rakus completes yet another brilliant performance in 2nd place. Alex Tugan takes 3rd. And Sam Stopford comes home on the track in 5th, but he might be 4th. Jankowski might have a penalty. Smith did get past. Giotto, what's this? Carragher's got past Thomas McHugh. McHugh has lost a position in the end. What has happened to the McLaren? What on earth has happened? They were running so well, but my goodness. Carragher on 2 wheels overtakes Thomas McHugh. What a brilliant scene there. Carragher gets points in the Prost. Look at that. Look at that from Carragher. That's one of the moments of the season. Thomas McHugh, dangerous stuff, mate. Unbelievable race. And is that Voda misses out on points. He's in 11th, but now Marco Carragher is carrying the team. Cooper 2nd, 13th, Valyak 14th, as Carragher just about beats Jack Agnes. Chauffeur 17th, Alex Jones 18th, Callison 19th, Martins 20th, Latoris 21st, so he must have had some damage at some point, and Helio Silva in 22nd position. A dismissal race for him. But wow, that was undisputably the race of the season, and I don't think that's getting beaten. We saw so much side-by-side action during that race. Here's a look at the race results again. And if we see the gap between Stopford and Kubica Jankowski was below 5 seconds. So Kubica drops to 5th. Huge dent in his championship hopes. But huge dent in his championship hopes if you compare it to the Williams. But he might actually extend his lead because Thomas McHugh scoring only 2 points. Having just won the last race, he only scores 2 points. Anyway, we thank you for your company for that brilliant, absolutely stunning Belgian Grand Prix.
Before we go,
Join us tomorrow for the penultimate round of MMS Season 1. So it's goodbye from me.
And I would say goodbye before I go, but I just want to honor driver of the day to Samuel Grada. Thank you for that. See you next time in Canada. Yeah, the land of maple syrup.
Montreal.
Yeah.
We'll see you there. Thank you ever so much for watching. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Remember to be safe on the roads and wear your seatbelt. Bye bye.